You are listening to PastThink.com audiobook. Please like and subscribe, thank you. Chapter 45. Cao Cao is defeated at the Three Rivers. Jiang Gan is fooled by a fake letter. Zhou Yu's plan is simple. He suggests that Kong Ming, along with Guan Yu, Zhang Fei, Zhao Zilong, and 1,000 men, should penetrate deep behind the enemy lines and destroy their supplies. Kong Ming realizes that this is in truth a suicide mission, designed primarily to ensure his death, but unable to immediately think of a way out, he has to agree. When later Lu Su challenges Zhou Yu as to the reason for this mission, Zhou Yu is honest enough to admit he wants Cao Cao's soldiers to kill Kong Ming, and thus not have the blame fall upon himself. Lu Su reports this back to Kong Ming, who is busy getting ready to go on the mission, or so it appears. When Lu Su asks why he is doing this, Kong Ming repeats a rhyme that he says is going the rounds among the local children. To lay an ambush or defend a pass. Lu Su is your man. When the battle's to be on water. It's Zhou Yu. So, says Kong Ming, clearly neither of you is any good at this kind of mission, so I have to go instead. When this is reported back to Zhou Yu, he is furious and announces that, to show how wrong Kong Ming is, he will personally lead the mission with 10,000 men. This, of course, is exactly what Kong Ming hoped would happen. When he hears this, he says, "You see, it was just a plot to have Cao Cao kill me. That is why I taunted him with that comment. But let's be sensible now. What we need is for Xuanda and Sun Quan to collaborate. We must stop this plotting against each other, otherwise we'll be outmaneuvered by the plots of Cao Cao. If Zhou Yu does lead this ridiculous mission, he'll be killed. He is far too important for that. Can you gently help him see this?" And, sure enough, Lu Su manages to dissuade Zhou Yu from the folly of his own proposed suicide mission. However, when Zhou Yu realizes he has been tricked once again by Kong Ming, he is even more determined to kill him. But Lu Su persuades him to at least wait until they have defeated Cao Cao. Again reluctantly Zhou Yu agrees. Back at Jiangxia, Xuanda prepares himself to go down to Xiakou and the forthcoming battle. He orders that Lu Qi be left in charge of the city, but is worried that nothing has been heard from Kong Ming. Xuanda sends Mi Zhu to go to Zhou Yu's camp to find out what is going on. Mi Zhu is received with due honor by Zhou Yu, who earnestly requests him to inform Xuanda that he longs to see him. When Lu Su questions Zhou Yu about this invitation, Zhou admits that his plan is to assassinate Xuanda, and despite Lu Su's best efforts to dissuade him, he will not be shifted from this devious plot. Instead, he gives instructions that if Xuanda comes, 50 armed men are to hide behind screens at the welcome banquet. "When I drop my wine cup," he says, "that will be the signal to kill him." When the invitation reaches Xuanda, he agrees to go. "Zhou Yu is renowned for deceit," says Guan Yu. "And we have heard nothing from Kong Ming. Don't go." "I have to," says Xuanda. "We are supposed to be allies." "If you must go, then I come too," says Guan Yu. Xuanda agrees to take Guan Yu with him, but seems oblivious of the plot being hatched. When Xuanda arrives, Zhou gives orders for a banquet to be set, and then secretly orders the armed men to hide behind the screens. They are to wait for his signal to strike, when he throws a wine cup to the floor. What Zhou Yu did not expect is that Guan Yu, famous for his skills with his great sword, would stand guard behind Xuanda throughout the banquet. So terrified is Zhou Yu by the presence of this great warrior that he abandons the plot. It is with huge relief that a deeply worried Kong Ming finds Xuanda and Guan Yu down by the riverside after the banquet, ready to return to their own army. Suddenly realizing the danger he has been in, Xuanda is anxious to have Kong Ming return with him. But Kong Ming replies that ironically he is safer inside the tiger's mouth than anywhere else. Not long after Xuanda leaves, a messenger comes from Cao Cao to deliver a letter to Zhou Yu. On the envelope are the words, "The Prime Minister of the Han grants permission to General Zhou Yu to open this letter." The patronizing tone of this absolutely infuriates Zhou Yu, and, without even bothering to read the letter, he rips it into pieces. He then orders that the messenger be beheaded, the head is then given to the poor man's servant to carry back to Cao Cao. Lu Su is horrified at this breach of protocol and protests strongly. This shows them, says Zhou Yu, that we know we can win. Now Zhou makes the final preparations for the attack and commands that Gan Ning lead the assault on Cao Cao. Enraged by the murder of his envoy, Cao Cao sets in motion preparations for the battle. Command of his army is given to Cai Mao, and the troops are put on board the battleships ready to attack. Soon they see the massed flotilla of Zhou Yu's navy approaching, led by Gan Ning, who shouts, "Here I come, and who will stop me?" Cai Mao's younger brother, Cai Sun, is sent to attack him, but just one shot from Gan Ning's bow slays him. Gan Ning's southern troops then open fire from their boats, creating utter chaos among the northerners. They simply are not used to naval conflict, and thousands fall as the arrows rain down upon them as they huddle, seasick, in the boats. Gan Ning inflicts a crushing defeat on the soldiers of Cao Cao, but Zhou Yu, worried by the superior numbers of Cao Cao's army, pulls his men back before they can utterly crush the northerners. The humiliation stirs Cao Cao into ordering that Cai Mao and Zhang Yun, who are, of course, experienced in naval warfare, should establish a training center where the landlubber soldiers can be trained to fight on water. The sheer industrial and training scale of this undertaking, and the size of the army mean that at night the sky is bright with the furnaces, fires and lights of the northern army. Deeply troubled by this, Zhou Yu decides to get as close as possible to spy out what is happening. In a small boat he is rowed at dead of night towards the enemy encampment. Here he sees for himself the developments, and is duly impressed and troubled by how far the enemy has come in preparing for naval combat. Suddenly there is action all along the enemy bank of the river. News has reached Cao Cao of Zhou Yu's spying expedition, and orders are given for boats to race out and capture his vessel. But the southern rowers are stronger and more skilled than those of the north, and Zhou Yu is soon back in his own camp. Incandescent with rage, Cao Cao asks how Zhou can be defeated. "I'm an old school friend of Zhou Yu. Let me go and see if through friendship I can win him over. I really do think I can." The speaker is Jiang Gan, one of Cao Cao's advisors. "You know Zhou Yu?" asks a surprised Cao Cao. "Have no fears," says Jiang Gan. "I will succeed." So it is agreed. Jiang Gan will go to see Zhou Yu. When Jiang Gan arrives, Zhou Yu throws a great party for him, which all the military commanders are ordered to attend, to bring home to Jiang Gan just how powerful Zhou's forces are. Jiang Gan is also invited to stay the night. This is all part of Zhou Yu's plan to use this visit for his own ends. Poor Jiang Gan. He is paraded around to see the military might of Zhou, and the formidable preparations for war until he is suitably cowed. Together, the old friends drink heavily, and Zhou's behavior becomes more and more eccentric, more and more like someone who is so drunk he has no idea what is going on. As the evening draws to a close, Zhou Yu, now apparently the worse for wear through drink, invites Jiang Gan to come and sleep in his tent. But his apparent drunken state is a ruse. Pretending to be sleeping deeply, Zhou Yu snores reassuringly. This encourages Jiang Gan, who has quickly realized during the evening that he has no hope of persuading Zhou Yu to change sides. So he takes the opportunity to explore what is lying around in the tent. He soon discovers a letter which appears to come from Cai Mao and Zhang Yun. In the letter they say they were forced into serving Cao Cao. However, as a result and through deceit and cunning, they are now within reach of striking and killing Cao Cao, whose head they will deliver to Zhou Yu. Jiang Gan steals the letter, realizing that, even if he will not be forgiven for failing to bring Zhou Yu over to Cao Cao's side, this letter with its explosive revelations will gain him Cao Cao's approval. After a fraught night of anxiety, fearful that Zhou Yu will wake or notice that the letter has gone, Jiang Gan slips away in the early morning, and makes good his escape. Arriving back at Cao Cao's camp, he goes directly to Cao Cao, where he has to confess that Zhou Yu will not change sides. Cao Cao explodes with fury, but Jiang Gan says that he has discovered something of greater importance, but that he can only confide this to Cao Cao alone. So the room is cleared. Then and only then does Jiang Gan show Cao Cao the supposed letter of betrayal by Cai Mao and Zhang Yun. Roaring with rage, Cao Cao orders the immediate execution of the two commanders. It is only when the heads are brought in that Cao Cao comes to his senses and realizes that he has been fooled, but unable to bear the ignominy, he refuses to acknowledge this. This is despite the fact that he has just murdered the two commanders who understood marine warfare. His other commanders are appalled. When the news reaches Zhou Yu, he smiles with relief, for it was those two who worried him most. Yet he is also anxious to know if Kong Ming has worked out what has happened. Lu Su offers to go and see. Can he sort things out? Let's see.